Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. My name is Rochelle Slay, or Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. Listen, y'all, you are here to get inspired, motivated, if you will, by either persons that you know or don't know. And of course, in my community, there's a lot of great people, and I had to have them on my show. So, this show here, y'all, is where I bring in a SLAYMAZING guest who is living life on their own terms. And they are starting with the foundation of Slay. So if you are here, you've never been here before, welcome to the Slay to Success experience. And slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym that stands for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me, and hopefully they resonate with you too. And that is stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So if you're coming in, go ahead and please let us know where you're streaming in from. Give us your name so we can give you a shout out. All right. We can see you. We want to thank you because you could be anywhere else, but you decided to stop on through. Okay. And of course, listen, we got our brother, okay, in arms that is here. That is Dr. Casey or Keith Castile in the building. So thank you so much for being here with us live tonight. I hope you're doing well, Keith, okay? Because you know this conversation is going to be fire. All right, it's going to be fire. And I know, Casey's been on the show before, y'all. So if you haven't seen his session, his show, please go to the YouTube channel, the Slay to Success YouTube channel, and you will see his episode along with, I don't know, there's probably over 100 people so far that been here, and you will absolutely be amazed. So, y'all, I bought in a SLAYMAZING guest because, sometimes we need to be finding like-minded people. And when I said, okay, who would be most fitting for the show? I'm always asking that question. And I saw her in persons again at an event. I said, hey, would you like to be on the show? And of course, she's like, I think I'm ready. I'm like, yes, Queen, you are ready. All right. And Zara's here. Okay, she's saying hi, mommy. All right, you got here, Queen. Love that you're here supporting your mom. And then we got Keith also saying, my sister doing better than good. Yes, yes, we are. We all are. And I love that we're in this journey together. Okay, y'all. So if you see this QR scan code at the top of your screen, that's all about the Brand Boldly experience. It's part of what Slay to Success offer. You can take a picture of it, look at it as you will, as we are talking through the conversation, because we're about to have a conversation now. I've got my beverage of choice, okay, which is water, okay? But whatever that is for you, I'd say go ahead and pull up, get you some tea, because the tea is going to be hot. All right. So tonight, y'all, I have my great friend and sister in arms, Andriea Cook. Okay, now she's calling her tagline right now is Coach Cook 2.0. All right. Now, she is a surviving wife, proud mother, certified life and spotted coach, and a United States Air Force veteran. Huh? And she's known as Coach Cook for 2.0. She lives by the mantra, meet people where they are and coach them to where they need to be. Her approach is direct, compassionate, and rooted in real life transformation, guiding individuals from simply surviving to fully thriving. With more than 30 years of proven leadership experience, Coach Cook is passionate about helping others overcome obstacles and create a life that feels aligned, purposeful, and whole. She specializes in career, life, and grief coaching, offering steady guidance to those navigating major transitions and personal challenges. Now expanding her passion for confidence building, she is also an inspiring image consultant. dedicated to helping individuals present themselves with authenticity, clarity, and presence inside and out. Now, she is a retired Chief Master Sergeant and she served over 3 decades in the United States Air Force, huh? And she is now the founder and CEO of Becoming Great 413 or 413 LLC. And she is committed to walking beside you as you step into the best version of yourself. All right. Okay. Who else we got here? Okay. So, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong and I apologize, but on LinkedIn side, we have Manoj Tamar and says, hello, happy morning. Best wishes for you today. So thank you so much for being here live with us tonight. And we also got my husband, Dominique, on the Facebook side, got Lindsay on the Facebook side, Lindsay Kinslow, and Jeba Lanasa on the Facebook side. Queens are showing up. My husband's also showing up on Facebook. So thank you so much. So please give a big round of applause for my sister in arms.
Hello,
How
Queen.
you doing, Queen?
I'm great. How
Oh
are
my
you?
goodness. I am absolutely wonderful. I'm even better now that you're here on the show with me. And I just want to thank you for your yes. All right. And I just love that we're in this journey together. Like,
Absolutely. Thank you for
yeah, like
having me.
I mean, we got folks coming in here, and they all coming for you, Queen. And we got Rhonda Johnson, best friend.
Hey,
Okay.
best
We
friend.
got best friend on there. She's on the YouTube side. And we also have Kiera Session on the
That's my
YouTube side.
very first best friend ever.
Oh, Kiera, thank you so much. So you
Yeah,
got besties everywhere. Like the
I
besties are coming out.
do.
You also got your
Thank you,
sister
Sanders.
here, Trisha Mendez says,
Yeah,
hey, sister, too. So, y'all, thank you so much and for holding it down on the YouTube side and being here for your bestie, okay, and your sister. So, you know, I think we first met, and I want to kind of walk back a little bit. I think it was at D. Mosley's retirement ceremony. And it may have been before that, but I think that's the first time we actually had a conversation.
right. That's correct.
Okay. And so at the time, y'all, we were at another chief that retired, and we were at the Women's Memorial Museum, and I met Andrea there. And I was just so, I don't know, it's you had the aura, you had the presence, right? And it was like, who is this woman? Like, I want to know, I want to get to know her. And from there, we've just seen each other several times.
Hmm.
And, I always wanted to have this conversation, especially after you retired, to really get and understand who you are. Okay. So your daughter says, yes, my mom looks amazing. Yes, she does,
Oh, thank you,
Queen.
Zaria.
And Casey says, Drea and Slay, look, this show ain't got no more room for greatness. Look, you pumping us up, Casey. Okay. Like, we love this. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself, like, and what kind of start, like maybe start from before you went into the military and just kind of give us a little bit about the journey.
Okay. So I am from a small town, South Carolina, called Andrews, South Carolina. A lot of great people come out of Andrews. But I started my journey at 17. I actually was going to go to college. Um, and then when that didn't turn out, I saw one of my very good friends who was home from basic training.
Mm.
And he told me about the Air Force. And so I was like, you know what? I think I might consider it. And I left there, went to an ice cream shop with one of my friends, and we ran into two recruiters. It was an Army recruiter and an Air Force recruiter. So me and my young self asked the question, like, which one of y'all run? The Army was like, yep, we run. Air Force was like, we ride a bike. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with you. Right? Choosing the path of least resistance, right?
Right.
So I took the test and everything, joined the Air Force in 1995. And my first assignment was Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. So
Oh,
came in
wow.
Airman Basic, just as green as these earrings, right? And actually, that's my first assignment, and that's where I met my husband. And
Oh, wow.
married there, and then continued our journey on through there. That was my first introduction into the Air Force.
Wow.
Mhm.
So you had really no plan, if you will, to go into the military. You kind of just, that's just what happened.
I didn't have a plan, but I had a dream. I knew that I wanted to leave and I wanted to make something out of myself. Um, and that was one of the things, like my brother and I are very close. And
Yeah.
one of the things he told me was like, you gotta leave. And so that was the thing then for me to do. Best decision of my life. I have zero regrets at all. Um, but it's just amazing how things work that way when so young. You don't know yourself, you don't know what you want to be. But God put me in that position, and He placed people along my journey to help me get to where I am today.
Yeah. That's so beautiful, right? Because it wasn't by, other people kind of just telling you, you just found a way there. Um, so there's a little bit of feedback where that's coming from my end or your end. I don't know if you can hear that or not. We'll try to get that kind of sorted out. So
I know
Dr.
you're a little
McCoy says, way to go, proud of you.
spot.
So I love that. I love that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Mhm.
Okay, good. All right. And then Keith says, look at God. So, this is just so amazing that, you just started out very young, went into the military, got married. What was your job?
Aviation resource management, better known as a One Charlie Zero.
Okay. And did you
I
stay
started
in
out.
that job and for
No,
a while?
I stayed in that job until I was a E6 tech sergeant. Um, I became a command chief exec, and that's when I really felt like I grew up. I had
Mm,
amazing command chief that really, really, she just spoke life into me and into my career. And so I
yeah.
really started to like it then. And so I did that. Um, I did first sergeant. I was additional duty first sergeant for 2 years. I did protocol, which kind of sparked me into doing events and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, when I made chief, well, when I made senior, I was a squadron senior enlisted leader. Same thing with chief. And then when I retired, I was a group operations group senior enlisted leader.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is so, when we look back on our careers and all the different jobs that we had,
Hmm.
one of the things that I really appreciated was all the skills that we were able to attain and some of the experiences that we had to get us to where we were and kind of walking that path of, being just very green, like you said, airman basic, which is y'all no stripes, okay? Like you got nothing on your sleeve, okay? So going from that level to the highest enlisted grade, which is an E9, is no small feat. All right. There's a lot of challenges and, overcoming like certain things that are built into the system to get to that point and then to honorably serve and get to that point. And I know there was like many challenges, and one of those challenges was losing your husband. And so can you walk us kind of through that just a little bit and maybe offer, something to those that are in the grieving journey, if you will?
Right. So in 2019, my husband, who was active duty military, he actually retired in 2013. He was security forces. And in 2019, he was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Mhm.
So when we found out, it was already stage 4. So
Mhm.
he didn't have any symptoms any noticeable symptoms, I should say. So he fought for 19 months.
Mm,
So we found out in 2019, and then he took his victory lap in May of 2021. Was when
mm,
we lost him. And so during that time, I was stationed here at McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, and I was in squadron. At that time, we were calling it squadron superintendent, but I was a squadron senior enlisted leader during that time. Um, and I was filling in as the group superintendent as well. So, um, what made things so much easier, besides my village, I could tell you
mm.
one of the things that my husband would say is family is not always connected by blood.
That's right.
See, blood makes you related. It don't
Hmm.
make you family, right? But I will say, and my blood family was there, but my Air Force family showed up.
Mm,
And my leadership at the time, she was absolutely amazing. Both the squadron commander and the group commanders at that time, they were very, very, very supportive. Um, they made sure that I didn't miss not one doctor appointment, one
mm.
treatment. Um, and then I asked them something very important. I asked them to not tell anybody because I still wanted to be there for my airmen. I still wanted to lead.
Yeah.
It was very important to me. And I was afraid that if they found out, then the relationships that I had, like with the airmen talking to me and stuff, that would kind of taper off. And I still wanted to have some sense of normalcy on the other side as
Mm,
well, right?
mm-hmm.
So trying to go through that in the midst of COVID at the same time was definitely a lot to try to handle. But by that time, I had gave so much to the Air Force that I knew then that I was like, okay, I could take a knee and not feel bad.
Right.
Right. And so we lost him in May of 2021. And shortly after that, then I permanently became the group senior enlisted leader. And
Mm,
it wasn't no easy feat. I
yeah.
know I probably made it look easy. You know,
Yeah.
when you think about a plane that's flying, the people on the ground don't see the turbulence, right?
Hmm.
But the people on the plane feel it.
Right.
And so it was certainly hard, but I knew that I had to make sure um, that I was there for my daughter,
Yeah.
because at the time she was 16 and she was getting
Mm,
ready to go into her senior year of high school.
yeah.
So between that and like I said, my village, they were filling in the gaps and it's been a little over 4 years now and they're still filling in the gaps. Thank God. I'm so grateful
Oh,
for them. Um, and so going through that, um, the pressure, and I feel like, I'm sure you understand as a chief too. We lived a life of being in survival mode all the
yes.
time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Um, you having to prove your competency every day, even though you have the rank to prove it, you have the experience.
Yep.
Um, the results was there, but it was always a constant need to try to prove to yourself. And, being fully transparent, I struggled with, if I say I need help, then maybe they'll remove me from this position because,
Hmm.
as a chief, well, I don't know if you can handle it. I can handle it. I just need a minute
Yeah.
to breathe,
To breathe.
right. And so, but I ended up retiring April of this year and started the transition now into the civilian world. But it was definitely difficult. I mean, we were married. We were together 26 years, married for 25 when he passed
Yeah.
away. Mhm.
Well, thank you first for sharing and being open to it. My condolences to you and the family once again. For those that are out, and this is a time of year where a lot of people are very excited and maybe a little bit more overjoyed about the holiday, but thinking through that, many of us have experienced loss, and this may not be the tis the season, if you will, that people put out there. So, from your experience, what would you offer to anyone who is going through this, or perhaps what would you tell others? What would you wanted to hear, or what did you hear that made you feel like, okay, you're actually empathetic, all right, and sympathetic to what I'm going through? Because sometimes people don't say the right thing, so and it's not by them being mean or
Right,
anything like that. They just don't know what to say. So, like,
right,
kind of give us a little bit of what you would like to hear, or what people said that made you feel like, oh, okay, like, thank you.
right. I think it sometimes it take people to go through things. It certainly opens my eyes to a lot. When you tell people, let me know if you need anything. Well, you
Yeah.
put the burden on that person
Mm.
rather than you getting to know. I didn't have my friends didn't have to tell me that. They saw where the deficiencies were and they filled in. I didn't have
Mm.
to ask them. They knew exactly what I needed before I needed.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
um, language is everything. So when someone is going through something and you ask them how you doing, I've now switched to how are you holding up because
Mm.
it sounds different, right?
Yes.
Something I would never say is I know how you're feeling
Yeah,
because you don't. I could sympathize with you, but every loss is different.
it is. Yeah.
God makes no mistakes. I can't tell you how many times and I love God. I'm a woman of faith,
Right.
but it sounds different when you're in that journey of healing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would say that one of the things that's been very beneficial to my daughter and I on this journey is we've been intentional.
Yeah.
So I think everything, perception is everything, and how you handle stuff. What's your mindset? You know, um, we were grieving and still is, but we were intentional about celebrating the life and the legacy of my husband. And
Mm.
so you will probably never talk to me and me not ever bring him up
Yep.
because of who he was, I am.
Mm.
And so on the 29th of every month, we would go out to dinner. On holidays, we would eat, some of his favorite foods. And
Mhm.
it would help us rather than just being sad and down in the dumps. And we were, but
Yeah.
we tried to turn that into celebrating who he was. Because
Mm.
to watch him and to see the legacy that he lived, and he lived on purpose.
Mm.
And that actually, me being a person of purpose,
Yeah.
um, it's not what you do, but it's what happens to the people because of what you did.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, that transformed me into another person. Hence, I'm sitting here because normally it would have been him. I would have been
Mm.
supporting him from the back. He's the speaker. He's the extrovert.
Really?
I can be your ghostwriter. I'm I would make sure everything is good, right? Um, but to see how he lived on purpose was another thing that I think it shielded me from being angry with him not
Mm.
being here because now I'm like, I can't even be upset. I'm still trying to live on purpose. He lived on purpose. He did his
Yeah.
thing.
You know what? I think you freed someone just now. I mean, freed from the, heaviness of grief, because it can consume you and it can swallow you up. And
Right,
before you know it, it is just something that you wear. Like,
right,
you could see people wearing the loss. I love the whole analogy of celebration of the legacy. of what was built. And even, your daughter here, she's like, we are who we are because of what he instilled in us.
Yeah.
And, to see and to hear, I know that has, changed somebody's heart. I absolutely know that it has.
I hope so.
So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And then we got Marie Sanders here, but God, love you, Dre. So,
Love you.
it's got like, yeah. And then, of course, Chevy is here with us tonight. She's here live. So thank y'all for being here and listening in. And then we've got Precious Jewel on the Facebook side. Also, she just joined us live. So, um, and even in this journey, right? And you got to the 30-year mark, and it was virtually by the tribe, the village, if you will, helping you to get to that point over the 30 years, because, we both served 30 years in the Air Force, which sometimes I don't know if you feel this or not. Like, I had to pinch myself sometimes because I'm like,
Mhm.
did we do this? Because my husband also served for 30 years. I'm like, did we actually do that?
We did.
We
And
did,
looking
right?
good doing
Look
it, right?
at good doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't look like what we've been through. And it's
Right.
like, God gave us favor, over
Mhm.
our lives, and to have an opportunity to serve in a different way. But what were some of the things that you learned over your 30 years of experience?
Whew, my God.
I know.
So much.
I know.
I would say like I'm gonna go back to purpose just for a second.
Okay.
Um I can't say I've always, but when I grew up and knew better,
That's right.
my, my purpose my purpose was very important to me.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about especially now doing this transition is knowing the difference between what you was created to do and what you get paid to do.
Mm.
'Cause there's a difference, right?
Mm.
And so when you know when you're just going to just get paid, I think that that's when everything like bothers you.
Mm.
But I feel like when you walk in your purpose that God has called you to,
Yeah.
then you understand the protection that you have.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yes, I do, Queen.
so for me, I experienced a lot of stuff and I heard a lot of stuff that was taking place behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but because I was walking in who he called me to be, because I always said the Air Force was my transportation to do the things that God had called me to do.
Mm.
And so as long as I was doing those things and doing right by people and doing what I was supposed to do,
Yeah.
then I felt like I was covered. Like I didn't have to worry about that. Now the
Mm.
stress of like I was saying earlier of having to in survival mode because
Yeah.
there were times that I felt like I gotta come in yet again tomorrow and prove that I deserve to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Is my voice gonna be heard today? It's
Right.
exhausting. Do I have to practice? How many times am I gonna say this so it doesn't come off harsh?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Is somebody gonna take what I said out of context? All those things that you gotta fight through every day. I gotta make sure, I can't talk to this many people because I don't want the perception of this, like all that weight that we have to carry.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Um,
Yes.
and just for me, I can only speak for me and my experience, being a woman of faith. The only way I got through it was God.
But God.
I mean, from getting up in the morning, doing my devotion, praying, setting the atmosphere, setting the
Mm.
tone. Because there was a time where Airman Cook would have responded much differently.
Oh yeah. Look, we all been there. Okay. Now we are not excluded from being out there and not really understanding who we were and what we were supposed to be doing, and we handle it a different way.
Right.
But you know what? When you say but God, and and how you allowed, what you those principles of praying and reading and, getting into that spirit, you know, that changes everything that you see. Like, I felt like God was covering my eyes and
Mhm.
shielding my ears, right, from things that I knew were being said in the background, but I didn't hear them out loud, if you will,
Right.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And my dad was a deacon, and so his favorite tagline for all of us was "But God." All
But
right, and it was always that, because you can put whatever you want behind that phrase, right? And I really feel you when you said, it's about how we are showing up. It's the difference between in your calling and what you're working at. So I truly believe that, like, the things that you have said are things that need to be said over and over again, especially to those that are serving and potentially at that higher senior leader, where they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I got here.
right. Right.
you know?
Mhm. I will
So
tell you, especially after I made chief. So one of the things I didn't share earlier, one of the very first scripture I ever learned was Philippians 4:13. I could
mm,
do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
yes.
Um, Prior to me making chief, I didn't think that I would make it. My husband and I had already had plans to retire. We had this thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I made chief, and for those of you who aren't military, you get a line number that goes coordinates with your promotion. My line number was 413. Now, when I learned this scripture, my aunt taught me this in Sunday school. And when
Yeah.
I left to go in the military, she gave me this bracelet that I wore every day in uniform that had Philippians 4:13 in there. Hence the becoming great 413 life coaching business, whatever. Um, so when all of that's connected, I really knew then that I was good. I knew I was good. And that
Yes.
was the thing that made me stay. That was the thing that made me accept the strike. When my husband was like, we're not going anywhere. It's 413. We
Ah,
have to stay.
wow.
Yes.
You know what? And I'm almost speechless. I really am, because numbers are something that also showed up for me.
Mm,
And it is something that, a lot of people may not be in tune or, have that awareness. But I knew God was speaking to me in numbers as well. So, you know, uh, your daughter's like, Phil 13 is what our family has been built on, so she's so accustomed to seeing that. You know, my dad passed away on 10/25, which is
that's my
October.
anniversary.
No! Oh
Yes,
my gosh, y'all.
definitely.
I don't know what's happening. Something's happening here, like real time. Okay, this is real talk. 10/25. I started my master's degree that day. It was in 2021 as well.
Mm,
And everything that my dad had, his passwords were 10/25.
mm,
Doors, securities, whatever, passwords. And so when you're talking about numbers and the connections, I'm a believer, that God speaks to us in many different ways.
mhm,
It doesn't have to be loud and just, like, oh wow, I know that he did. It could be subtle. It could be just a small hint of something, and you're like, I'm on the right track. I know I'm supposed to be here, right?
right.
So when you saw the number on your line number of 413, I know you were just like, what?
I was blown away. I was
What?
blown away. I
You
could
know,
not believe it.
I could, so
I bursted into tears. Because nobody else knew in that room what that number meant. I saw the
oh,
number before I saw the strike.
oh my.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, it's KC and you got Trisha saying Philippians 4:13. Trisha says you can't make this up. This is alignment. Okay, and y'all, Facebook, y'all over here holding it down. Okay, so I can't see the Facebook comments because Facebook book doesn't allow me to be great. But I can see it on my phone. So Vanity Cross Williams is also watching. Precious Jewel says 4:13 is her daughter's birthday. Okay, so
Wow.
April 13th. And so she's got the water in your eyes emoji, attached to that. And then of course, our great friend and sister in arms, Monica John Core, she's on here and she says, love you
Yay!
both.
One of my favorites.
I know, mine too. She
So I
says,
think with Monica though, I believe I share a birthday with her son, or maybe the twins, and then the other son shares the birthday with my husband.
really?
Yep. Yeah, we are super close.
Wow.
Mhm.
She says, love you both. I'm so lucky that I got to work so closely with you both.
Mm.
Such impactful, caring leadership.
Aw.
I mean, y'all, she's our girl. Okay. So me and Andrea both were stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota at different times. She was there
Mhm.
before I was.
Mm.
And so we
I
didn't
needed
find that out
you.
till later. Huh? I
But
know.
I needed you.
Listen. That assignment, like, it was a tough assignment.
Mhm.
And so when we learned that we both were stationed there at some point, I was like, man, it just can't it can't even, I don't know what else more to say, but I was like, we were meant to be in each other's lives for
Mhm.
whatever reason. So I'm just so grateful. Okay, Dr. McCoy says my retirement ceremony began at 4:13 p.m. Coach Cook was my program officer.
Mhm.
Wow. See, these numbers. Okay, okay. And I got to keep on reading these comments. These on Facebook, there's also Monica says, with the twins. Okay, she said with the twins exclamation mark. And I think my birthday is the same as Kevin's. So she
Yeah.
also, yeah, she's
April
also.
4th and October 29th. Mm.
Mhm. And then Precious says, she is the baby completion 3. Great to hear women leadership sharing. And Monica said Drea loved EAFB. And then she put dot, 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 no.
I love her.
Absolutely not. Okay. So, like, I had to get up out of there. I was like, what is going on out here? Y'all have us on
Mhm.
an island. This is not the States, is it? It's like, oh. So, okay. So, after you retired, I see there's a number of things that you are working in, Queen. And I'm like, I love, love, love seeing us do something different, like creating our own paths
Mhm.
of ways that we can give back, support, and all the other things. So, even in the midst of all the things, you're still pouring into others. And so, tell me a little bit. First, tell me about the business part first, and then we'll kind of walk through the others things that you're working on.
Okay. So I have a life coaching business, which is called Becoming Great 413. And that's coaching for life, career, and grief.
Mm-hmm.
I started working on that towards the end of my assignment. And it was definitely beneficial personally to me during the transition. I don't know about you, but the transition was a bit challenging for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After you have done something for so long, it's the transition is hard because you're not just changing jobs, but you're changing an environment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, you still who you are. You haven't lost your values or any of that. For me personally, though, I was giving up something that I've known pretty much my entire adult life.
Mm-hmm.
So when you couple that with, I met my husband at 18.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is the first time I'm being an adult without him.
Yeah.
I'm going through that. I also didn't realize that I didn't properly grieve.
Mm-hmm.
So after he passed, when I went back to work, that transition, I had been living a life of transition for about 4.5, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the transition of being a caregiver, then the transition of being a surviving wife, then the
Yeah.
transition of my daughter going to, when he passed, she was going into her senior year. Then the transition of her going to college.
Mm.
Now transitioning to the civilian world. I had zero time to sit down and breathe and figure out what was going on around me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm grieving something that I've always known, that I knew how to maneuver in and all those things, right? Um, Very, very difficult for
Yeah.
me doing that process. Um, so that helped me, the training that I had and the training that I had with my coach, Coach Williams, Canetta Williams, that kind of helped me throughout my transition. And then I started to like it even more. And
Mm.
I wanted to help people. I want to help people unlock their full potential.
Yeah.
Um, I did not realize this until after my husband passed, but he was my real life live in life coach. Because if there
Mm.
was one fan or one person who believed in me, it was
Yeah.
always him. And
Yeah.
he kept telling me, "Oh, you could do this, do that." And I'm like, "No, that's your job. I got you over here. You do it or whatever." And all the things that he spoke life into me, I am now doing.
Mm.
And so, one of the things it's our family mantra. There's like a family crest,
Yeah.
but our family mantra is to be great. And
Mm-hmm.
what that stands for is always grow, always finding ways to grow, be resilient, be effective, have the right attitude, and always promote teamwork.
That's right.
So I have no choice but to be great. It's in me,
Yes.
right? I might be on the struggle bus sometimes, but
Listen.
but I'll get there.
Yeah. You know what? Okay. Before I say what I want to say, your mom's here.
Oh, Mama J. She's another
So
fan who speaks life into me, definitely.
yes, I'm just like, okay, like let's go. So thank you so much, Yvonne, for being here with us tonight. And your daughter is just so like she says, my mom really took her transition as a transformation into the civilian world. So literally, she has done some amazing things, and it's the reason I push so hard the way I do. Hashtag Kevin Strong.
Oh,
Yes.
that's my baby. I tell
Yes.
you, I love being her mommy.
Oh my gosh. I just love this. It's great you are. And then you got great model, Kevin the Rock Cook. All right. And then you've got Be Great, you know. And then of course Precious on here on Facebook, she says Be Great. I absolutely could relate to what you said about transition.
Hmm.
And, we had similar paths to really starting something or thinking about starting something that was different while we were still in uniform, but not really understanding where it all would go. We
Hmm.
both created acronyms, all right, which I think is one of those things that as you transition, I think every person should create some sort of mantra or
Hmm.
slogan they can start to live by if they didn't do it while they were in service. It
Right.
really kept me focused. I don't know about you, but it was like now that I have these principles, these philosophies, I want to just wrap myself in there and then have the community, like we're building community, when we have these mantras, acronyms, and whatnot that people can get behind. They're like, oh yeah, so I always tell people, like, once you in Slay Nation, all right, there's nothing
Right.
yeah, you here now, so you have no choice, all right, to be out here and operate in excellence. All right, we've been operating in excellence for our whole entire career. Now we're just doing it a little bit differently with a little bit of style and pizzazz, if you
Come
will,
on,
in the
yeah.
text, right?
Yeah.
It's like we could do it a little bit different. But I feel so grateful, because a journey, this transition that you can make, and then when your daughter said, the transformation, we can see, I know there was points in the journey where I could started to see me transform into the woman that I always was, but I was allowed now to be a little bit more free with it, right? And I don't have to work for nothing. I don't have to ask for anything. I have
I
all
can go
that.
where I want to go
Yeah,
and
go
don't
with
have to
what?
wait for somebody to tell me, right?
It's just
Yeah.
saying,
Free.
and it's freedom. But the transition does take time, and there is an emotional, curve, if you will, of the ups and downs of transition, because it is loss. I think, like, the whole 30 years of being in this system, or in this, you know um, this structure, and then it's gone, and it's like, what now do I do? I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know if I can actually make it out here,
Mhm.
so I think that it's definitely something that more and more of us who are looking to be in this journey, that we can do for ourselves.
Right. I think another thing too, and I think you and I had talked about this, about transactional relationships. Like,
Yes,
when you make
yes,
the transition, you realize that there were some relationships that were transactional, right?
yeah.
Um, and initially it was hard to come to terms with, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I heard something, and I can't remember the guy's name because I don't like to take credit for somebody else's stuff, but
Yeah.
he was talking about how elevators have a weight capacity.
Mm. Hmm.
And he said if God programmed you to go to, say, level 30,
Yeah.
um, you have to be okay with level people at level 10, level 12 getting off.
Mm. Okay.
And you have to know, um,
Listen,
and you
y'all.
have to know that you aren't losing them, right? You creating space,
Green space.
right? You losing weight
Mm.
because the elevator can't go to the top with too much weight.
Mm-mm.
And so some people are floor assignments. And that's
Mm.
okay.
That's
We don't
okay.
have to dishonor the friendship or the relationship.
That's right.
You have some people that's gonna ride with you for life.
Hmm.
But then there are some people, once they get to their floor,
Yeah.
they gotta get off.
They gotta get off.
And so I had to be able to accept that.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from the initial hurt, right?
Yeah.
But I know that I've been programmed to go higher.
Mm.
So
Mm.
who knows? We might spend, well, I don't spend the block, but you might get on somebody else's elevator, and then by the time I get to the other, you might be back. I don't know.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to be, I think we have to be okay. And we call those relationships seasonal
Seasonal.
relationships.
Yep. Seasonal.
And you have, and I'm okay if I can help you. One of the things that when I, as a leader, I always try to find out, am I the person? I'm a country girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So am I sowing the seed? Am I cultivating the ground? Am I
Hmm.
sowing the seed? Am I watering it? Because you're not always going to get to see the harvest.
Mm,
So
mm,
I understand if my point in your life, if it's time for me to get off,
mm-hmm,
I'm cool. I could get off,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
It's what
Look,
it is.
it is what it is. But you know what? When you say it
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, you don't see it for what it is when you're in the moment. And I think
Mhm.
this is where wisdom really starts to show its face. After you retired and done something for a very long time, if you are a person of substance, okay, and I say that with the love that I can, but with the substance and the wherewithal of understanding what happened, all right. And when you talk about relationships, as much as they hurt, because I would always, take, like, the heart was on the sleeve. I would take things so personally. I would just be like, well, why don't you like me? You're like, I didn't do anything to you. Like, I don't understand why you're treating me this way. Like, I was so stressed about all of that. But then as I've grown older and start to look at, what was really going on, the analogy that you gave was just that. All right. When you're called to a certain level or a certain calling or whatnot, you can see, you can feel, you know what I'm saying? You can feel that something is about to happen. And not everybody can go along for the journey. Now,
We
it's not for everybody.
we always make the mistake of trying to make them stay. And
Mm,
now it's overweight.
overweight. And it don't even feel right. And it don't feel right,
You know,
and we still, for whatever reason, and this is just generalized, we still hold on. We still hold on. We like,
falling in
what?
love with the potential. Falling in love with the potential. Yes.
Oh, and we
Mhm.
don't know how to just say, you know what? And again, I'm with the love and the care about the delivery for where I need to share it with someone. So that way it's not coming off as, well, you ain't going to be able to hang around because da da da. No, we've all been called to a certain thing,
Right.
to do certain things in this life.
Right. And like with us, we travel so much and you
Mm.
meet great people and you move to another base. And I'm even okay with we don't have to talk every day. You can still pick
Mm.
up the phone and call me. I probably ain't talked to you in 10 years and
Yes.
I'm here for you, right?
Yes.
Um and so it gets hard, the more assignments you have and you
Yep.
connect with people.
Yep.
Um You probably heard me say this, and many people who out here know me ain't heard me say this. Is one of the things that my spiritual dad told me back in 1999 when I got to my second base. And he said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that is one of the things that I instill in my daughter. Like, who are you around?
Yeah.
Because it's very important. When I leave your presence, I need to feel like an awakening. You need to make
Mm.
me be thinking about what my next move is.
Mm.
And if you're not doing that, then you you might be like on the edge of the circle.
Right.
You're definitely not in the circle,
Not in
right?
the circles. No.
Right. And that's okay because you have some people who feel like they have to have a title,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't need that
No.
at all.
No.
But I think with our jobs, it just made it hard. Like when you see somebody or when you PCS and you still be trying to hold on, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're like, wait a minute, now I'm doing all the calling, I'm the checking in and all this other stuff, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my time to get off the elevator, or you get off the elevator, however you want to look at it, one of us getting off.
Yeah.
But I wish you well.
Wish you
I
well.
want to see you win.
Yes.
There's not a person that I do not want to see win.
Absolutely. Yeah. You said it so eloquently. And I thank you for that because, sometimes we see a situation and we're not quite sure of really what's happening. And, I always know that God is watching over us. We're covered. He's already ordered our steps. This is just one of those things that just happened, right? And, I would get so wrapped up about, oh my goodness, they're not talking to me, or I don't know what I did to them. And now, I'm more of, I understand, I understand. And
Mhm.
I'm not mad about it. I don't get all wrapped around the axle about it, and who's for me will be there for me. And even in this new season, my friend circles have changed. My environment has changed. All conversations have changed. And it's just another sign from God is like, this is the communities that I want you to be a part of. Okay,
Right.
so, go ahead.
Oh no, I said I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And so that just leads me into this whole fashion, okay? Because we got to talk about it. Yeah. Now we've been here for almost, an hour, but we are not going to leave without talking about this fashion and
Woo!
and this journey that we're on. Oh, okay. So first of all, let me just like set this, and make sure that everybody is on this level, okay, of this foundation for where I'm going to be speaking from. We both served for 30 years in the Air Force. Okay. We were both chiefs in the Air Force. All right. We both wore a uniform many a day, all day for a very long time. All right. So now this whole thing of transforming into fashionistas has been, I don't even know what you've experienced, but you already had it. Now, this for me is something new, like over the past few years that I've discovered. So, what does fashion style? What what is it that you enjoy about it? Like, let's just have a little conversation about
Love the freedom of expression, right?
it. Mm-hmm.
Now I have to give credit. I don't know if he's on here tonight or not, but my brother, he the fashion king.
Oh,
So growing up and watching him, always got the latest fashion. We used to tease him. He would iron his pants before he played basketball.
what?
You
What?
you ain't gonna catch him off. Right?
Oh yeah, now he got the prize. I'm
This
like,
guy,
what?
yes, yes. So I learned watching him. And I will have to say um my mom is 84, 85, I think.
Uh-huh.
What Keith said, I'm stealing those earrings. I got you. I got you.
He said, I got you.
He's gonna bring out that bald head. But
Exactly.
but my mom, like when I think about it, my mom, she would always like, she didn't go out looking crazy. Mom, you're never gonna catch her in no bonnet or no hair rollers out in public, all that type of stuff, whatever. So that was kind of instilled in me early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love a good outfit. I
It's,
don't care what it is. I'm searching. Um, I
high and
don't
low.
know. I just love fashion.
Yeah.
I always say I'm a country girl with some city girl swag.
Yes.
That's really it.
I love it. Because every time I see you, I'm just like, this queen, she's not playing. And I'm like, I need to step it up in here. Like I love I love the energy that clothes can give us and the
Mhm.
uniqueness. Like any one can wear, whatever they think is brings out the best in them. And I
Right,
that's what I think that fashion helps to do. And the confidence
right,
that you have from having your own way of doing things.
right.
And beforehand, I would just be so scared to wear like color and put myself out there. And then I just decided one day, I don't care now. Like, I just don't worry about all that. I just feel great. and doing these things, right? And so your daughter says she is an icon. I try to aspire to look like her. I'm sure you looking like her, Queen.
Girl is
Okay.
working on her Christmas gifts, ain't she?
Yeah, she sure is, and she know how to talk. Right? You see, you know what to do. Okay, and I ain't mad at the game because that's what I'd be doing. All right. She says she loves a good moment. Now, yes, like what I saw your retirement pictures, and I was like, these changes are happening. You're coming out looking just flawless, and I'm like, yes, Queen. And I think more of us are deciding to do that because it just brings out even more and the curiosity behind it, because a lot of people don't know we served for a very long time in the
Right,
military if
right,
they don't know us like that, right?
right,
All they see us, walking around in these, different types of pieces, and they're like, oh, okay. But
right,
we have more to share with them, so that's the other thing, is never judge the book by its cover, because
right.
you don't know. You don't
I
know.
I think too, like even in uniform, what
Oh,
was important to me, when people before you open your mouth,
yes,
people are looking at you,
they sure are.
right? Um, Now I like all the top brands and all that. Nobody's saying you have to wear that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they notice your outer appearance before they even know who you are, your
Mhm.
inner
Yeah.
person, right? And
Yeah.
so I think that for me, what's important is like this is an opportunity for somebody to give you a chance. So even
Yes.
in uniform, even with OCPs, I had to have a long dialogue with
You
the
said,
lady at the cleaners who did not want to starch my uniforms. And
uh-huh.
I told her, like, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
However,
However,
these will be starched. If I'm going somewhere, I got
right.
other ones. But it's very important to me
Yes.
on how I look.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't overshadow, the importance of being a great person on the inside.
Right.
Um, but it's a great conversation starter
Yes.
because I'll have random people, even on the days that and I feel like I get more on the days that I don't feel like I'm, you know, up here. Um, I get more people like, oh my God, that's so cute. You put that together. I'm like, I'm in some sweats and
Yeah.
maybe
Right.
a raincoat or something. I don't know.
Right.
But it doesn't help that my friends are fashionistas,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
there have been times where um especially my two best friends, they live in two different states, and we
Yep.
could go somewhere and we have the same stuff. Or we're talking and like, girl, I bought this, and it's like, oh, I got that too. But because we have very similar tastes.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, I just think it's a freedom of expression.
Hmm.
And my grandmother used to say, when you look good, you feel good.
You sure do.
And so it's always important for me, and I'm always on my daughter, like, this generation does not like to iron.
No,
We don't
at
go
all.
out the house without ironing, right? We
Girl.
iron. Um, and you never know when you're interviewing for a job. You don't know who you're gonna meet.
You don't. The interview is when you step outside the door of your house or
Ex-
wherever you're going, because
Right.
you don't know who you're going to run into. And that's kind of
Mhm,
my feeling. And we had the same common belief when we were in uniform. I
mhm,
had a long conversation with the folks at the dry cleaners too. I'm like, sew all these pockets down,
mhm.
starch this uniform up. I want it to look a certain way. Give me the big stripes. I'm not looking for those little small stripes that you got,
Right.
because I earned these, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna make sure people see. And it was just the way, like you put it
Yes.
together. And I got so many opportunities just from my appearance alone.
Right. That's the
No,
thing.
it is a
I
thing.
don't know if people understand that. Now, my husband was a cop. So when
Yeah,
we met in the BDU days,
yeah.
right,
Oh, and
we had full up starch uniforms, and we every night we sitting there shining boots and heel and sole dressing.
that's it. That is it.
And so from that alone, I mean, I got in trouble as an airman. That was good. It was my off duty behavior, really. But
It always is, Queen.
um, but one thing I always made sure, like my uniform, because I think people felt like, or they feel like they could take a chance on you.
Yes.
You gonna represent me well.
Yes.
You don't look like this random person outside the gate.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of times people miss that. Even with OCPs, I think it was not OCPs, ABUs. You didn't have to iron, or
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna
Oh,
at
yeah.
this address. This is what we do when we
This is
step
what we
out.
do.
Right.
This is what we're doing.
And when you look at it, I'm wearing this uniform over 40 some hours a week.
Yeah.
This is my primary dress.
Yes.
And I'm not going to take pride in that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do my hair. I'm not going to make sure my nails are manicured. All those things. It's just important to me.
Those are important to me too. And
Mhm.
I really do think it was part of, all right, because consistency and looking the part
Mhm.
and walking in that already prepared, already, like we don't have to worry about all of that,
Mhm.
which is somewhat of the discriminator, all right, when it comes down to who are going to put in these different leadership positions, right? So, I always share, and we got a 15-year-old son in here, and y'all, it's like there's a lot of talking going on about showing up and how we showing up in here. All right. So,
Right.
there's a little bit of, flexibility because of their age and, kind of what their peer groups are doing in some aspects, but our name means something. All right. And you representing
Right.
this household. All right. And
Right.
you got two names. You got Hemingway and you got King. Those two names need to be represented well. All right. Because that's what we do. But I absolutely agree with you with that. And then on the Facebook side, we got Kim saying, first, Kim Mallard. So, Kim, thank you so much for being here live with us tonight. She says, first impressions are everything.
They are. You have to go in there. Um, my husband would always say, "You either gonna look like you the CEO or you look like one of the workers. Which one you gonna be?"
Oh,
So I'm gonna go in here looking like I'm going in here looking like I'm the CEO. I already own it.
CEO, right. Right. Listen. He said CEO and a worker. All right. Like,
How
I'm
you
with
gonna
him all
be?
day. Like,
Mhm.
we don't want to be looking like that. And then now look, we are CEO and founders,
Right.
CEO and founders, and representing our businesses in such a way where we're positioning where people like they're like they're legit. Like there's some legit going on, right? And
Right.
there's some people who don't see it that way. They just kind of show up. And I said, no, we got to take it to that next level. You got the structure of the business, but let's just make sure that you're representing the business the way it should be. So that way, when you're interfacing, people will get in, they'll understand and be like, yep,
Right.
yes. You know what I mean?
And you do branding. So when you talk
Yes.
about branding, for me, I think that's the impression
Yes.
from the people with their experience of you.
Yes.
So that's your
Agree.
brand.
That's your brand. You are the brand. You're
Right.
walking, talking billboard. It is
Right.
your business card.
Mhm.
So I tell all my folks, do not be slipping. Okay. Don't slip, because when that opportunity passes you by, and then you wonder what happened, I want you to do an assessment from head to toe. That's where we're
Mhm.
going to start from first, and see, was there anything that you could have adjusted or tweaked, or you felt like, yeah, I was out of alignment. I need to get back to, what I was doing before. And
Mhm.
because nowadays that's what we're living in a world where we are a brand. you know there's influencers all day. There's people who've got platforms. There's hybrid work. There's a lot of things that are different than they were years ago, where we would just put on the uniform and make sure all these things were right, which got us into the room. But now we in the room, because
It
that's
was.
what we in the room. And now we're not really in the room. Okay. So
Yes.
we got to make sure we in the room, okay?
Mhm.
And all the things are buttoned up. So your daughter says, yes, my representation of both my mom and my dad is crucial. Either step or get to stepping. Okay.
You listen, girl.
Right. Get to stepping. Listen. She's like, she know what she doing. All right.
She
I'm like,
is. She
girl,
working.
you need to talk to my son over here. Just re-emphasize, all right, like all these things. But we've been on here for a minute, and I just absolutely love our conversation. And of
Me
course, Casey
too.
said part two, and I was like, yes, we'll do a part two for sure, if that's okay with you too. Um,
Absolutely.
okay, so before we leave, there's two things that I want to ask you. The first is, what else would you like to share or discuss before I ask you a last question that you didn't share before? Maybe you want to leave something with the audience.
Um, I would say a couple things. I talked about being great.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to be great. And again, that stands for always growing, being resilient, being effective, have the right attitude, and always promote teamwork. The second thing I would tell you, don't limit yourself.
Mm.
Um, One of the things that my pastor says that I absolutely love is what you don't understand, you abuse. So seek to
Mm.
understand and not agree. Don't have
Mm.
to agree, but seek to understand. Um, and lastly, your true worth will never be valued in the wrong place. So know where you're supposed
Mm. Yes. I love that,
to. Mhm.
because you could be at a million places, but you are in the wrong places. And, you know, and again, that is just knowing and feeling when you're in the room, wherever you're at. So I
Right.
love that. I love all the gems that you done dropped up in here, Queen. Okay, so I'm like, yes. So D, hey D, we see you. Okay, so D said yes to part two. Okay.
Thank you, Mosley.
Yes. And she said, I had no idea y'all were going live. Queen, she be out there.
She be
You know,
outside.
you know, we know you outside. All right, we've been inside. We know where you're at. Okay, so we ain't mad at you or nothing. We just happy that you here, that you found us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She living her best life, and I'm like,
She
yes.
is. She is. And I love it. I
I do
absolutely love it.
too. I mean, she gives us something to inspire to as well. I'm like,
Yes.
she is absolutely like slaying retirement right now. So
Yes,
I was
she
like,
is.
man, we are.
She make it look so easy, but you
She
know that
should.
girl is a boss. She been working.
She is working, okay?
Mhm.
Y'all, if you don't know D Mosley, okay, I was just say, hey, go find her Facebook. She got a LinkedIn page too, but she mostly on Facebook, Instagram, and connect with her. She is our sister
Absolutely.
from another mister, that we
Mhm.
absolutely love and adore. Um, and she got to be on the show too. So D, you up next. So I'll
Yes.
be hitting you up, okay? So we can get this done.
Let's go.
Um,
I'm glad
so
I'm after her. I mean, I'm before her. I don't have to go after her. Look at God.
look at God. Oh Lord. You know,
Yes,
she about to turn
Lord.
50 up in here. So, you know, it's gonna be really
Yes.
something else. I was just like, whoa, okay, yes, but we gotta have her on the show because she is just amazing. Okay. And Vanity has got some slay bombs. And she says, love y'all more. Oh, so yeah, she's definitely in this sisterhood that we have at
Yeah.
post retirement, you know. But okay, so my last question to you is, you know, something that and it's not even striving, that I'm actually taking intentional actions. You used the word intentional earlier, because, you know, nowadays we got more days behind us than we do in front of us. And, you know, being in this purposeful kind of driven in towards, you know, meaningful impact and influence, I'm always thinking about my 80th birthday. And the reason why is because I went to my aunt's 80th birthday party, and she lives in DC.
Mhm.
And I mean, she was getting all types of flowers. All right. Like the flowers coming out, and I absolutely love it. People were sharing what they loved most about her. And
Mm.
so it kind of changed my perspective as well as to, what would I want my family and friends to say about me on my 80th birthday? Because, we could be living this life and just letting it pass us by, or we could be creating something, and you're creating something powerful. So, what would you want your friends and family to say about you if God
Whew,
blesses you with 80 years?
that's a loaded question.
I know.
And it's funny, I'm gonna answer that. It's funny you asked that because I was reading something the other day, and it just kind of made me think about sometimes your family, they know the person that you were, that you grew up with.
Mm,
In the military, though, we grew together.
yeah.
So my military family actively saw me changing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, and it made me think about Jesus when he went back to his village,
Mm-hmm.
and the people there saw him as a carpenter. They didn't
Yes.
even recognize who he was, right? So I saw that and I was thinking about that. It's funny you asked that question. Um, I would say the biggest things to me, one, that I'm a woman of faith,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a woman of my word. Um, that I am a great mother, because out of all the titles I ever carried, being a mom is the best title that I could carry, and I want to give my daughter a life that I didn't have, and I want to leave a legacy. Um, I want I want everybody to have had the same experience. And I
Mm,
say that because being on this side and losing my husband, when I hear the impact in the lives of people that he made, I was
mm.
so excited to know that they knew the person I knew.
Ah,
Because sometimes you can go to a celebration of life,
mm-hmm.
and then you hear people talking, and you like, who was this? Who was that person? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so my prayer is that the person that my daughter knows, um, the person that my family knows, my friend, that they will all be in sync, that they can all come together and say, she was a woman of faith, she was a great friend, she was a great mother, she impacted my life, and I would like to hear, well done, that good and faithful servant. Right? I
Yes.
want to have lived on purpose. I don't want to be here taking up space and time from somebody else. I want to be impactful, and I can only hope that I have been.
Mm. Well, I would tell you this. You've been impactful, and it's only been an hour and
Oh,
20 minutes that we were here. So, and I've already know the energy from your daughter who keeps come up here and validating what you said, that you just want to be the best mom ever. And she says you are the best mom ever, the real
I try
MVP,
to
the
be.
realest best friend.
I
So,
try to be. I told her we were talking about, my mom used to say, I ain't one of your little friends.
oh
And
yeah,
I really say that. And what I learned with her is I want to be your friend. Because
yeah,
what better person to teach you how to be a friend and
yeah,
to what to expect from a friend
yeah.
than me?
Then
Now
you,
we got boundaries,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We got boundaries, and she understands that. But I just pray, that as a mom that I've done those things and instill, the things that she can carry on that legacy. And
Yeah.
she's well, my baby's getting ready to graduate college in May.
Oh,
So very proud of
congratulations,
her.
Queen.
Yeah, so
That
proud
is
of
going to
her.
be so amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have been such a treat. Okay. A special guest here on the show. Keith says D is amazing when we should have a three-way show. Hey,
Oh God.
Casey, will you be the moderator? All right,
He,
because
he gonna show out.
yeah,
He
we gotta you
show
guys
out.
have somebody take the wheel, okay? Because yes, it would be too much.
Hmm. And let me say this with Dr. Casey, he has been so amazing to me in this transition.
Yeah.
um from he has C2H connecting heads to hearts, and just giving me and trusting me, for being a part of his company. And we're getting ready to launch C2H Faith, and that's going to be launching under the life coaching. So we're going to be um, teaching different ministries, helping them to become Christian coaches, and learning some of the tools of emotional intelligence, and coaching their people. So he has really, really been instrumental in me going through this transition as well. Like, sister, you need to do this. No, don't do this. Having that listening ear,
Yes.
um, I have to give it to him. And definitely Todd Simmons too. They both have been like, okay, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, we already went through the transition, so we need to know, like, where are you at? What are you doing? And I'm so grateful for that, because they don't have
Yeah.
to.
They don't have to. And I'd
At
say
all.
that on behalf of, those two as well, this circle that is being created um has been absolutely amazing. And those two, like you mentioned, they're connectors. They want to
Yes.
see us win together.
Right.
We're all like, believers. It's all the things, that people are looking for, and the support that we have. We're wrapping each other and we're in love and saying, you know what, because like me and you are like in the same types of spaces. I'm like,
Right.
for me, I'm like, this is not a competition. This is definitely like the more voices that you have, like-minded people help us all to grow, right? And help us all
Exactly.
to move in
Right.
such a way. I think this is a movement. There's a movement happening, and
Mhm.
we're all doing it together.
Mhm.
And I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed to be in this
In the
time
number, like they say.
in the numbers. Okay, like
If
in
you
the
want to
numbers.
go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team. And they
Exactly.
yeah,
So and then somebody well, Trisha says, who's in your ear gates matter.
that's it.
Absolutely do.
Mhm.
And then KC said, yeah, look at your mom. You know what? And then D said, that's right. I'm not holding back. And she says, that's right, ladies, love this. Yes. And Casey, she's laughing at Casey, of course. And then Vanity says, thank you both. Great conversation.
Mhm.
Um, so y'all, we are going to wrap this on up because I know y'all got lots to be doing. Okay, it is about that time to start the week again. I just want to personally thank the following people for being here with us tonight. We had KC, um, we had Zahara,
Zaria.
Zariah,
Zaria.
Zaria. You know what, Zaria? I apologize with your name, but it's Zaria. It's just like Zara. Like all I know
Mhm.
Zara.
My favorite
It's
store.
my favorite stores too. So listen, I won't ever forget that. So thank you so much for being here and supporting your mom. We had Maynard from the LinkedIn side, Rhonda Johnson, Kiera Session, Trisha Mendez, Dr. Rosella McCoy, Marie Sanders, Chevy. I'm just trying to look on here, y'all. I don't like to miss anybody because Yvonne Jefferson, because you were here and I want you to get the proper shout out. All right, because you could have been anywhere else, and you said, "Hey, we're here." And then on the Facebook side, we had Dominique, my husband, had Lindsay Kinslow, Jebe Lanasa, Precious Jewel, Vanity Cross Williams, Monica John Core, Kim Mallard, D. Mosley. Okay, so I think I covered everybody. If I miss anyone, please do not charge it. Okay.
Charge it
You
to my
know,
head, not my
yeah,
heart.
I'm just trying to like get through this, and I just want to make sure that I recognize y'all. And Andrea, thank you so much.
No, thank
You
you.
know, her favorite store. That was yours. Yeah, she said it was your favorite store too, and
No,
Key said, yeah, takeover, and also prayer hands. Um, so yeah, so anything that you need, let me know. We will have a part 2 for sure. And listen, y'all, I have another Slay Amazing guest next weekend. I know it's almost Christmas time up in here, but we got to get these things in because I just want to make sure that we are leaving inspired, that people that are sharing their stories, you can relate to them and resonate with what they're sharing. So I have another guest here Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yes, I love it. Just the marketing is on point. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, Trisha.
thank
Okay.
you, Trish.
You know what I mean? Get over there and make sure that you get the updates and the notifications for when all the episodes drop. I also have the Rise and Slay morning show on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are on selected Tuesdays because the schedule is tight. All right, but you will get the notification when I'm on there. Okay, so as you know, last tagline for the night is to keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And we will see you all very, very soon. Bye. We love
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you
You're
for having
welcome.
me.
You're
I really
absolutely
appreciate it.
welcome. Yes, you are amazing. And she says she always makes great sweet potato pies. Oh, okay. Yes, we'll end on that. Veronica, hey Veronica, what's going on? Hey Queen. There's another. She's gonna be a veteran here soon too. Navy. Okay.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Congratulations again. March is when she's gonna retire. And Casey said 2026. We all winning. Period.
We
Okay.
winning now.
We winning now.
Go.
Bobo sends love. Y'all just like listen, give. I love this. Um,
Mhm.
so we will see you all very soon. And if you come back for the replay, put in hashtag replay. Okay. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.